Hello Wargamers, it's me Callum and I am back recording videos again, and it is good to be back. So I thought I would pick up where I left off with the Horus Heresy. I know I've been away for a couple of months now, and for that I do apologise, but you know, unfortunately life does get in the way sometimes. But the good news is I'm back, and hopefully you'll see more regular videos from me throughout the next couple of months, despite it being an incredibly busy period. So today's video is all about the Horus Heresy, obviously, as this channel is a Horus Heresy channel, and in particular it's the first episode in how to build a legion, basically. You know, going from a concept in the mind through to a finished product. Now, obviously what you can see in front of you are some tactical marines. They're my Iron Hands tactical squad. The standard loadout for them is going to be this, and we'll go over loadouts in a bit. But what I wanted to talk to you about first was this sort of core principle of a tactical marine. I know it sounds very silly, but it's worth going over, I feel. So in Horus Heresy, it's important to note that only troops choices and anything with the implacable advanced special rule are scoring. So in order to claim objectives, you need scoring units. Now you can obviously deny with anything, but you can't score unless you have something that's scoring. So what you have on the screen there is a scoring unit. A troops choice, a compulsory troops choice at that, so it takes up one of the two compulsory HQ slots that you need to fill out. And it's, you know, it's supposed to be a points effective way of getting bodies on the ground and bodies on objectives. Now obviously there are other things you can do for troop choices when you start thinking about specific rights of war. For those of you who aren't familiar with the rights of war, it's effectively a way you can build the army. It has restrictions, but it has benefits and limitations, which is really good. It gives a nice balanced off force for the most part. And it just adds a bit of flavour to the army. But I wanted to use this for the first video because I think it's really important to understand how many people will need these 10 models here in front of you. So tactical marines are the mainstay of any legion. They make up the core of it. They are the boots on the ground. They are, you know, that ranged firepower of some sort. Now, it's important to note that obviously there are, as some Heresy players will know, better ways of taking boots on the ground, like Legion veterans, but I don't really want to go into too much depth with them because I don't really, unless they're modelled differently, I'm not super keen on them right now. So I thought what I'd do is I'd go over the tactical marine instead, because it is that sort of core place to start, and if you're not using any Right of Wars, it's, in my opinion, one of the best compulsory troop choices you can take. So, what makes a 10-man tactical squad? Oh, that was so bad. Good luck. Okay, so a Legion Tactical Squad is 125 points. You get 10 Marines for that, 1 Sergeant and 9 Tacticals. And it's a bog standard Space Marine sort of profile, which is weapon skill discipline 4, strength and toughness 4, 1 wound, initiative 4, 1 attack, leadership 8 and a 3-up save. So they're just a run-of-the-mill troops choice. But it's 125 points for 10 models on the board, which is a good start. Now you can take additional ones for 10 points each. So obviously, a squad of 20, which is the max you can have, that's going to cost you 225. So, you know, you're paying 12.5 points a model or something. That's not right, is it? Look at maths, me. Anyway, it's a good value way of getting troops on the board, and 20-man squads can be pretty hard to shift at the best of times. But you just need at least 10 of them. So the reason I say at least 10 is because I myself am prone to taking more out of an enjoyment of it. I tend to run 20-man squads with the word bearers, and of course my aspiration is to have 3 20-man squads constantly on the go. But there you go, that's just my idea. For the Iron Hands, it's at the moment only one squad of 10, because I've got 10 breaches, but we'll cover those in a different video. So 20 tacticals is the plan for future games as well, just because they're cheaper than breaches and provide a similar sort of thing. But yeah, so as you can see, for upgrades it's limited. Tactical squads can't take special weapons. They are bolt guns for the mainstay of the squad, and then the sergeant can upgrade to have a plasma pistol, bolt pistol, combi weapon. I think that's about it really. So what I've given mine is a combi melter. I've done that simply because in my eyes the Iron Hands are kind of a combi melter type army. I know it sounds silly because, well, you know, what's a combi melter army and what's a combi flamer army? But to me it stood out as an obvious choice. You can also see two things on backpacks at the back there. Now the back right, or just off to the back right, is some sort of banner. That's a Legion Vexilla. Now that's an important thing to carry in a tactical squad, in my opinion, because it provides you a reroll of your leadership. And leadership in Heresy is important simply because of the way it can be well, pretty crucial, to be fair, because you don't have any sort of rules. Well, Fearless is a lot less common, and there's no other way of really avoiding things like a sweeping advance and that, so what you have to do is make your leadership tests, and to be able to have a reroll is very helpful. And the other thing off to the left, it's not the official model, but I think it does a good enough job, is a Nuncio Vox. Now they help with deep striking friendly units and drawing line of sight for barrage weapons. That's the main reason I got it, because I do plan to have a couple of artillery pieces, much like the Medusa, kicking around in the backfield, and to have line of sight somewhere else on the board is always good, because you never know where you're going to end up deploying these things. So I thought that was an important thing to add. This total loadout, when you include Artificer armor for a 2-up save on your sergeant, and melter bombs on the sergeant as well, takes me to 170 points for this unit. Now, it's not cheap, not like a 125, but what they provide is a little bit of punch. Now you can give them additional close combat weapons for an extra attack each. I mean, I would normally, but just not for the Iron Hands. They're not for this particular army. That's not how I see them played. I don't want to get in combat anyway, because all my special abilities come in the shooting phase and being shot at. So why would I want to get into combat? I mean, that is the question to really be asked. But regardless of that, that's the loadout I choose to have. Now, obviously, like I said, no special weapons, but still, I think a tactical squad is the way to go. I'll be honest. If you're not going to use any Rite of Wars, it's 100% the way to go. Even if you do, I think tacticals are better to take than veterans, just because everyone takes veterans for the amazing rules they have. But in my eyes, it doesn't, unless it's been modelled separately. I'm not super keen, only because of coming up against someone who played 60 veteran tacticals and just used tactical marine bodies, and that was quite, I suppose, you know, there was no effort put into really make them too different. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. I'm going to be going through a couple of important units to have. I'm going to talk about what kind of books you're going to need later on as well. Well, I think I've mentioned that in the start in the Horus Heresy series anyway. So building up a legion, we're going to go from this mainstay troop choice. We're going to talk about HQs, the first purchases after Calth or Prospero, because really that's where you've got to start. And then we're going to go and build on about story and stuff like that. So hopefully you found this interesting and helpful, and stay tuned for the next one. Of course, you can catch up with us on a multitude of different platforms. The one in the middle there, Instagram, is the favoured, to be fair, simply because it's got the most interactive crowd. I don't really use the other two that often, though something important might crop up on there one day. So thanks ever so much for watching, guys, and I hope you have a lovely day. Until next time, bye for now.